Well, after a bleak showing against the Red Sox in Game 2, Hunter Brown comes in, settles things down. Brian Abreu gets the save, and Yainer Diaz plays hero. The Astros win the series against the Red Sox. Let's talk about it right now.
Yainer Diaz, this is Locked On Astros.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Huysman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chancey.
We are Locked On Houston Astros, and we update you join us for a daily Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Huysman. He is Brett Chancey, and we want to thank all of you that make us part of your daily routine. Whether it's on YouTube, go ahead, subscribe to us. Go make us your first listen. Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts, go ahead and check us out. Between Brett and I, we have over 18 years of podcasting experience, and we want to go and help you through all the games like that 14-1 loss the other day, and the victories like we saw today, whether it's trade deadline, whether it's the offseason, postseason. The Locked On Astros podcast is here for you, all our everydayers. And today's episode is brought to you by Monarch Money. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use the code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. So, Brett, I know in today's game, the Astros got the victory. Obviously, they couldn't have done it without Hunter Brown kind of being that steadying force. He didn't go 7 innings. He wanted to go 7 innings, but we'll talk about what happened in this game, what went well for Hunter Brown in this game. Also, the offense, Jeremy Pena, he had another home run. Also, Yainer Diaz accounted for the rest of the RBIs in this game, and we'll go ahead and talk about what the rest of the offense did. But also, we got some more bad news about Josh Hader. Unfortunately, it looks like he is going for a second opinion. And what did Joe Espada say about this? We'll go and talk about this later. So, guys, thank you for making us your first listen every day.
Yeah, Eric, you mentioned at the top of the show here, Hunter Brown. I mean, the difference in the game. How different last night's game could have been if a couple of things went the Astros' way. But he got the support, and we'll talk about the support he got. But really, to come out after a 14-1 loss, this is the only thing you can do, is go out there and win. And how do you do it? You have Hunter Brown, who gets his 10th win and just absolutely deals a great game. And before we do move on to Pena and Diaz, I want to talk a little bit about, I've got some details on the the balk controversy, or the no balk controversy, that I think Correa's pulling back on a little bit after the game. But Eric, Hunter Brown comes out there and just the guy deals. He goes by the name Diesel. We know he's from Detroit. We know he's from Michigan. I still love Dusty Baker's comments. He's from Detroit. He's a bad man, kind of thing. Like Detroit. I mean, the whole Detroit mantra was really like Dusty pushing this guy out there, saying like, he's my guy. And Hunter Brown is just a great starting pitcher. And he is a guy that at the end of his rookie deal that he's on before he hits free agency, he's a guy that you want the Astros to lock up, because he's out there. He's a pro's pro. Again, he got his 10th win of the season, and right in the middle of a race, of a really tight American League West race, he comes in and takes the ball and says, "I got your back, guys." And it was entertaining to watch Hunter Brown simply deal.
Yeah, he pitched 6 2/3 innings. He did allow 6 hits, 1 earned run. He had 3 walks in today's game, 4 strikeouts. He threw 93 pitches overall. 53 of them were strikes. 34 of them were swings. 4 of them were whiffs. He averaged about 84.6 miles per hour. Exit velocity allowed. But overall, his ERA is 2.45 on the season. So that is second among AL starters. So he's still in contention, despite that one start where I believe he gave up 7 runs or 5 runs. It was a bad start, but he's still in the talk for Cy Young. Only Tariq Skubal has a lower ERA. And I think if the Astros go ahead and win AL West right now, we are keeping track of the Mariners game. The Mariners are losing in the bottom of the 8th inning, 3-1 to the Orioles. So we'll go ahead and keep up with that game
Right.
as the show goes on. But Hunter Brown he went out and did what the Astros needed to do. Framber Valdez has been known as a stopper. Well, after that game on Tuesday, the Astros needed something, and this is what they did. They won 4-1. They're now 68-53 on the season. If the Mariners do lose, they'll be back to a game over the Mariners. So it may be a back and forth battle for a little bit, Brett, but the Astros, it doesn't matter where they are right now. It's just about getting victories, and you can't control what the Mariners are doing. You just got to continue winning, continue playing good baseball. And we'll talk about the Orioles, the pitchers against the Orioles pretty soon. But any closing thoughts on Hunter Brown before? I know you want to talk about the balk, but I do want to talk about Luis Garcia in a second.
No, yeah, we will. I think it's important because he'll be coming back soon. I actually saw him. He was at the game. The other day he was watching Spencer Arrighetti warm up with the other pitchers, doing their thing like they do, supporting all the pitchers prior to the game. So Alex Cora and the Red Sox were pretty upset in the sixth inning because they wanted a balk call after Hunter Brown had switched from the windup to the stretch in the middle of an at-bat with a runner on third. Of course, the umpires got together on it, and they were like, it was a no balk call. But interestingly enough, Alex Cora actually came off of that. Adam Spallone said that Alex Cora said the umpires were right about the non-balk call on Hunter Brown in the sixth inning. The Red Sox thought you had to declare if you were going to pitch in the windup. But that rule exists if the pitcher uses a hybrid windup. Brown used a normal windup. So he was in the clear. Like you said tonight, and I kept this up here for a reason, among AL leaders, only second to Tarek Skubal. So let's say he gets on a hot streak himself. Let's say he starts, pitching really out of his mind this last part of the season, these last few starts. Is there a possibility that he could jettison himself past Skubal? He could, but I don't know. I don't know if the voters already have their minds made up. But regardless, he's the ace of this staff and he got just enough offense backing him. And I know we'll talk about that later. But what's the latest on Luis Garcia?
Actually, Brett, my hotel Wi-Fi is really bad. Can you go ahead and look up what he did in today's game? I do know that he did pitch today, but in his last start, he averaged he maxed out at 92.5 miles per hour on August 7th. And today he was touching 94.7 miles per hour. So he's upping the velocity. That's good sign. That means that he's ready. I think they're trying to get him to around 80 pitches. If he's around 80 pitches, the Astros could consider bringing him back as soon as the next start. So it just depends on how many pitches he got in today's game. So Luis Garcia could be ready, but go ahead and read what he did.
Yeah, well, I don't know how many pitches he got. I would have to take some time to look that up. But he did 4.2 innings pitched, 6 hits, and hey, look, earned run from a balk. 1 walk, 6 Ks, like you mentioned, 94.7 miles per hour, 11 whiffs. So Luis Garcia is looking good. While we're talking, probably in the second segment, I can give you how many pitches. Oh, right here, 77 pitches, 52 strikes. Yeah. So that is, you said he needed to get up to what, at least 80?
I think Christian Javier was at 79. I think Spencer Arrighetti was about 78 when at their last start. The magic number is around 80.
So are they really, sorry to interrupt, are they going to go really like, well, it wasn't 3 pitches more, so they're going to let him, okay, because
Christian Javier only had 78 in his start. So if it's 77, I don't think that's a big deal. So I think they're going to decide. I think the uptick in the velocity is a good sign. The fact that, go and put that back up. How many walks do you have in that game?
He had 1 walk.
1 walk. I think that Spencer Arrighetti was struggling with walks in his last start in AAA. So I think those are some positive signs, and the Astros need some help. Definitely in the rotation. I know you have Jason Alexander that's contributing. You have a lot of guys that are contributing, but you can't have enough fresh arms up here. We'll talk about the rotation in a second, but I wouldn't be surprised if Luis Garcia makes his next start. So, Brett, we'll go ahead and talk about this next. Guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day.
Hey, Sean Wheelhouse here. I want to tell you about Monarch Money. Use the code LOCKEDONMLB for 50% off your first year. That's 50% off. Most people can't name all their financial accounts or even know what they're worth, whether it's 401k, priorities, or investments. And when you don't have the full picture, you can end up leaving money on the table. That's why there's Monarch Money. It is an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or your phone. Monarch does the heavy lifting for you. You can link all your accounts in minutes, see clear data visuals, get smart categorization of your spending, and finally feel in control of your money without ever touching a spreadsheet. If you have subscriptions that you forgot you're paying for, Monarch Money will find them. It helps you budgeting. It helps you reach your independence goals for finances. It helps you review what you and your partner are spending, the budgets, etc., and more. So don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use the code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off the first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with the code LOCKEDONMLB.
Hey guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. My name is Eric Huysman. He is Brett Chancey. We want you to become an everydayer. Somebody listens to our podcast every day. Go and subscribe to us. There's a little red button down there that says subscribe. Go ahead and make us your first listen every day. So, Brett, before we start talking about the offense, I want to go ahead and wrap up our conversation about pitching. I know that there was a pitching move today. Colton Gordon was optioned down to AAA. And a lot of people are like, why didn't it bring up AJ Blueball? He did so good in his last appearance. Well, he did pitch on Sunday, and he threw 71 pitches. They need somebody that was going to be available tonight. Let's say that Hunter Brown had an early exit. They needed somebody that was fresh. And so that's why they brought up Jordan Weems. I don't think that he's going to be up for too long, but he was effective in his short stint with the Houston Astros. So the Astros bullpen is going to be in flux. I wouldn't be surprised if Blue Ball does come up at some point to join the bullpen as a long reliever, especially with some of these guys coming back. You don't know how deep these guys they can go in these games, like Luis Garcia. Christian Javier looked really good in his first game, but he'll be making his next appearance against the Orioles. But you don't know, and so that's why it's good to have a long reliever in your pen.
Yeah, exactly. And I know we want to talk about the offense, but man, we have got to make sure that we give Brian Abreu his props tonight. He hit 100.5 on the radar gun tonight, Eric. He was pretty excited to be in the game. This is a guy that comes in, and as the offense had done their thing to expand the lead to 4-1, Brian Abreu comes out and says, you know what? It's okay, hater. I got you. I got your back. It's great. Now, you're still down one guy. You're still down the best closer in baseball, but Brian Abreu is the next best thing. And so that's got to give some comfort to Josh Hader, because as we'll talk in our last segment, we're not sure about how long he'll be gone. And so Brian Abreu as that closer, the relief pitching tonight did their job. The middle relievers have been kind of in flux, Eric, and the guys before you get to the ninth inning have been a little shaky. And so you need a performance like this where, Boston obviously can put 14 runs on you, all that, be it that 2 of those 14 runs was off of Chas McCormick, not really fair. But Bennett Sousa, before Abreu got in, 1.1 innings pitched, 3 strikeouts. So you had 5 strikeouts between Sousa and Brian Abreu. And that is really all they needed to do, because Pena and Diaz were the offensive MVPs today.
Yeah, because if you don't have to go to the rest of the guys in the bullpen, that's great. I think Souza is going to be a big part of the bullpen. I think Dubin, with what we've seen this year, I think that once he gets his feet back under him, I think he'll be a big piece of the bullpen. But it takes the time with these guys getting their feel back at the big league level. So give Dubin a chance. He did have a bad appearance, gave up the 4 runs, but I think with time, I think he'll be fine. But yes, the offense was great today. Not, I guess, good, not great. But you got 4 runs. You had Jeremy Pena, who Jeff Bagwell said is becoming a superstar in front of our eyes. But he had the leadoff home run in this game. And you also had Yainer Diaz with 3 RBIs. One of them was off of a single, and the other one was off a 2-run home run to give the Astros a 4-1 lead at that point. So Yainer Diaz has quietly, after a very slow start, everybody was saying, let's go ahead and trade him. Let's go ahead and bench him. He's actually been pretty good. In his last 30 games, he's batting .278 with a .513 slugging percentage with 7 home runs and 18 RBIs.
Yeah, man. Yainer gets a lot of grief for chasing pitches. Jeremy Pena last year got a lot of grief for chasing pitches down and away. And you love it when these guys are connecting. When Jeremy Pena is in there, he is an MVP candidate. When Yainer Diaz is doing his thing, I'm not saying he's an MVP, but he is a much better offensive player. And you and I remember the interview when we sat down with Yainer in person and talked to him. He takes a lot of pride in his hitting. He takes a lot of pride in this game. So I'm sure, Eric, he's been going through it mentally. The baseball season isn't just a physical grind. It's a mental grind. And when you have Pena lighten up the Crawford boxes the way that he can with an absolute laser, and then you have Yainer Diaz, because look, when you look at the box score, you're like, wow, they really didn't do a whole lot. But in a game where your pitching is holding the line, you don't have to do a ton. On 4 hits, they had 4 runs. The Red Sox pulled an Astro. They had 8 hits and 1 run. And so I absolutely love that. And I think it's great that we give both these guys their flowers, because they are doing a phenomenal job at the plate more times than not. Even Christian Walker, even though he didn't contribute, Eric, has gotten better. And these guys need to continue to go in an upward swing. If they do, they can keep pace.
The Astros today, they had a .500 batting average with runners in scoring position. Granted, it was only 2 times, and they had that 1 hit, the 2-run homer by Yainer Diaz. But this is a big step for the Astros just to get this victory, especially after that ugly loss in the Tuesday game, to kind of wipe it off their shoulders, just to go and move on. And but Pena, to go back to your point, I think the league made the adjustment to Pena last year. Towards the end of the season, he made the adjustment back. Yainer Diaz, the league made the adjustment at the beginning of the season. I think he's making that adjustment back. So I think with young guys, despite how much experience Diaz has had, sometimes you have to give them that benefit of the doubt and just say, hey, just wait for it. Like Christian Walker, he had to get used to a whole another league, a whole different team. And so it took him a little bit of time to produce, but we're seeing the benefits of the Astros being patient. And I love Brian McTaggart, his tagline with Christian Walker, worth the wait. And Christian Walker was worth the wait.
No, yeah, Tags does that. He's kind of like he's basically Seinfeld for Twitter. He's got those dry one-liners. He says those things that if you just heard it out of context, you'd be like, okay, what's the big deal? Like he lands them perfectly. I wonder if Brian McTaggart secretly could be a stand-up comedian, and like maybe he doubles as a stand-up comedian. Maybe he wears like a mustache, one of those, the old Groucho Marx glasses with the nose and the mustache, because he's pretty funny. And he makes a solid point. These are games that you have to have, though, because right now the Orioles and the Mariners are tied. Why? Because the Orioles suck this year. But you hope that the Orioles that have sucked all year are the guys that come to Houston and play the Astros, because it's Hall of Fame weekend. They're celebrating Billy Wagner. They're going to be retiring Billy Wagner's number this weekend. Pretty exciting stuff. They're going to add another baseball with a number up in the rafters.
I haven't told Denise yet, but I may be trying to go to the game on Saturday, because they're giving away that bobblehead, and I think it'll be cool to have a Billy Wagner bobblehead. I don't think I have one, so I may try to get the family out to the ball game this weekend. But guys, next we're going to talk about a current closer that may not be closing for the Astros in the near future. We'll go and talk about that. Thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day.
Boy, after a long day at school, at 2 hours of tryouts, an Astros game that not necessarily tiring, but there's a lot on your mind. You need something like a 5-hour energy transfusion. That's right. It's time to fuel up the right way. It is the amazing grape, ginger, and lime flavor all in one shot that brings the iconic taste of the golf course to your favorite non-alcoholic boost. It's basically like striking birdies and getting hole-in-ones no matter what you're doing in life. Whether you're out on the course or you just need that extra push to get you through the day, you know I'm talking about, you back-to-school teachers, or you guys taking on new careers. Eric, you see what I'm saying there. But what is the wildest thing that you've done out on the golf course? I remember getting my first birdie and getting pumped up. Can you imagine if I had 5-hour energy transfusion? I probably gotten 3 or 4 birdies in a row. So golf is all about the good times, the good people, and good flavors, and so is life. So grape, ginger, lime flavor of 5-hour energy transfusion gives you the best parts of the clubhouse go-to without leaving your course or chasing down that beverage cart. And now you can amp up for fun even more. Just buy, snap, and enter your chance to win a dream golf trip for 2 to any golf tournament in the U.S. Tee up that trip. Visit 5-h-e-win.com for full rules and entry. No purchase necessary. Excludes the Masters tournament. Ends October 31st, 2025.
Hey guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. My name is Eric Huysman. He is Brett Chancey. We have over 18 years of combined podcasting experience. We are here to walk you through the highs, the lows of being an Astros fan. Today, it was a great day, but also at the same time, it was a little bittersweet because Joe Espada had some updates about Josh Hader. The fact that he's seeking a second opinion is not a good thing. The fact that Joe Espada basically said we need to give him space and allow him to seek a second opinion, and it's going to be a lot longer than the 2 weeks. He didn't really go into details yet, but this is all kind of setting up some red flags, and so we could be potentially without Josh Hader, if not for the rest of the season, for at least the rest of the regular season. I don't know. It's a scary thought. I know that Joe Espada doesn't want to name a closer, but who did he go to in a save situation today? Brian Abreu, who threw 100.4 miles per hour. He was throwing some gas today. But Brett, what's your thoughts overall with this whole Josh Hader situation?
Well, it's absolutely the worst news that you could receive, because why? Josh Hader has absolutely been the most dominant closer in Major League Baseball in 2025. The guy has been nails. We covered it last night a little bit about how he's gone out 4 different times and pitched 2 innings, 7 times overall, like you mentioned, and a little over an inning, like an inning in the third, inning in 2/3. And is that the reason? I don't know. But look, Josh Hader is a staple, is the stopgap, is the guy that you say, okay, we need to put a screeching halt to any possibility the opponent has. And he's been there and done that. So you don't have him, and it sounds like you won't see him until spring training 2026, Eric. And I mean, that's just the harsh reality. Now, could we be wrong? Could I be wrong? Actually, you know what? I hope we are wrong, and I hope Josh Hader does come back. But if it means the longevity of having Josh Hader an entire season next year, you got to get him back right. You got to get him back healthy. Abreu, Souza, the other guys you can bring up blue ball to help out, Miguel Uola, if he can ever get the walks down. I mean, you've got horses in the barn. And so I'm not overly concerned, but it is a big punch in the gut, like Joe Espada said, to get this news. It was kind of weird, though, when he said, give him his space. Like, I think they're kind of touchy. And the fact that they're that touchy about it tells me there's not a whole lot of optimism in the clubhouse about Josh Hader returning. But what have I said, Eric, time and time and time again? if there is a
Don't
team,
trust the Astros medical staff.
no, that too. No, time and time again, Eric, and I know you'll remember me once I say this. If there is a team that can weather this kind of a storm, it's the Houston Astros.
Yeah, and so a lot of people are wondering why we think it could potentially be season ending. I don't know for a fact that that's what's going to happen, but typically when a player is seeking a second opinion, that means he doesn't like the first opinion, and he wants to, before a decision is made, they want to go. Let's say the first opinion is with a team doctor. He wants to get a second opinion with somebody that's not associated with the team. So that's what's going on. So there's obviously something that's a little bit more serious, something that is that they want to double check just to do a discount double check just to make sure everything is totally 100% right with this. So,
wait, is that how we use the discount double check?
Discount double check.
Or did you just I think you just wanted to say discount double check. Hey,
I've been waiting all season, man. Come on.
I know, I hear you. So look, and this is a great question in the chat. What is Hader's MRI show? Eric, hold on. Joe? Hey, what's up, buddy? Good win. Yeah, hey. Oh, no. I'm not calling about Josh Hader. I know you said get off his back. But real quick, what's his MRI show? Hello? He hung up on me. He wouldn't even tell me what his MRI showed. Sorry. I have no idea. Oh,
this is what it shows. Hold on. Let me
wait,
see.
what is that? I can't see it. Is it Tweety Bird?
Yeah, it's Tweety Bird. It's Tweety Bird getting x-ray.
Okay. Someone said I talked with Hader's cousin. He will be back soon.
Wait, all right. So the Mariners, the Orioles just won. So the Astros are back to being a game over the Mariners right now. So
yay, good job, Orioles.
Jackson Holiday doubled in the winning run. So Dylan Carson scores, and so the Orioles did us a favor. Now suck the rest of the time. Thank you.
That's
Thank
right.
You for your contribution.
Exactly. The Astros have a day off, so they'll be able to rest. But don't ask about Josh Hader. I'm seriously.
Yeah. All right. So we'll go ahead and talk a little bit more about the actual series, but the Astros rotation versus the Orioles will be Framber Valdez, the MVP for the Houston Astros, Jason Alexander, and then Christian Javier. So it should be a good matchup, especially if Jason Alexander continues to pitch well against good teams. Like he's been doing. I know the Orioles are not a good team, but still, if he continues pitching as good as he's been doing, Christian Javier kind of replicates what he did last time. So I think the Astros are up to can win this series. So Brett, I do want to mention something. So let's just hypothetically say one pitcher in 5 innings gave up 2 runs, and the other pitcher gave up in 5 innings 2 runs. One of them only had 1 walk. The other one had 5 walks. Which one of those would you consider a good game? A good start for the pitcher? So this was a question that was brought up on YouTube on the comment section. So
I'm gonna assume the 5 walks because it was a win. I don't know. I don't know what the angle is here.
Well, it was Spencer Arrighetti and Christian Javier, comparing the two, and the fact that Spencer Arrighetti didn't pitch well. But that was just a question that somebody asked on YouTube, and I just wanted to just see. But both pitchers gave up 2 runs. So I think as fans, we focus a lot on the walks. And if the walks don't lead to the 10 runs or whatever, does it really matter if a tree falls in a forest and doesn't make a sound? Does it really matter? But I guess you want to have the pitchers have a little bit better control. So I guess that's what the guy was asking on the comment section.
Eric has a book, I think, and his new job like this, and he just writes down quotes. And he thinks
No.
of things to say. And he's like,
Yeah.
Eric, I love you, man.
But the Astros just got to continue winning and just playing good baseball. They got to get good starts and good offense. You would like more than 4 hits, but is this a good offensive game? You got 4 runs on 4 hits, so you took advantage of the situation. So,
and that's what I say, and that's what my dad told me growing up. And when I say my dad said that growing up, it doesn't mean my dad's not here with us. He's still alive, okay? But I remember him saying, if we get 9 hits, we got to have 9 runs. And like, I never got that. And he just talked about, because when you get hits, other things are happening. Guys are getting on base. You have walks, you have situations. So I absolutely love that. So good win for the boys.
Hey, real quickly before we do this, Carlos Correa was off. Just this was a scheduled day off.
Right.
Just remember that he is learning a new position, and Joe Espada is taking advantage of the fact that he's learning a new position. They don't want to overwork him. They want to give him some time off. So this was a scheduled day off. There's nothing wrong with him. And just because a player that like Jeremy Pena has had some days off, just because a player's off doesn't mean that there's something. I know we're all got PTSD because of this season. Somebody misses a day and you think that they've got discomfort.
Oh, no. Yeah. Well, Eric, right before we leave, the Houston Astros, when you look at their schedule over the rest of the month, it's very favorable. It is in our favor, and I think for the Astros, it is a good thing to see what we got going on, because we have Baltimore, then we have Detroit. We have had Detroit's number this year, Baltimore again, and then you have Colorado, and then the Angels. And I think that's a favorable schedule. And then you got New York, and then Texas. Texas is below 500 again. So, guys, I don't think Texas is going to make the playoffs, if I'm being honest. So at the end of the day, the Houston Astros got a much easier road than I think. So, hold the panic button. Don't freak out too much. This team is going to ride with who they got, and I think they got the horses in the barn to get it done.
Since we're already over, I'll go ahead and answer this question real quick. Doug asked, what's Correa's stats as a Houston Astro? With the Astros, he's got a slash line of 364, 429, 545, and 974 with 2 home runs and 7 RBIs. So he's also scored 7 runs in only 44 at-bats. So he's doing a lot better than he did the rest of the season with the Twins. Like I said, sometimes getting traded to, especially a team in contention, a team that you used to play for, that drafted you, and that has your best friend on it. It kind of gives you this extra energy. And also, he's not playing shortstop. And we know that this is a player that's dealt with a lot of injuries over his career. He's always wanted to stay at shortstop, but maybe playing third base, it's not as physically demanding as shortstop is. Maybe this would be help him extend his career a little bit.
And Eric, one more show note for the fans, because they're asking. The Astros do play the Mariners September 19th to the 21st in Houston. So that's going to be a great series. Like a whole week before the season ends. And who knows, hopefully the Astros have positioned themselves far enough in front of the Mariners that series will be inconsequential, but I doubt it. It will have implications. So yeah, you got 3 more games versus the Mariners at home. You like your chances.
Yeah. So guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day, whether it's on YouTube. Go ahead, subscribe to us. Go and make us first listen Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast. Go and check us out. Become an everydayer, and we will see you tomorrow. And hopefully this weekend, the Astros get a series win over the Orioles, even though Orioles just did us a favor and beat the Mariners. We'll see you tomorrow.
Go Stros.
It was hot in Arizona today.
Like 100 degrees.